One day, in a quaint little town, a philosophy professor known for his distinctive teaching style made a notable visit to a primary school. On the day of his visit, he entered a classroom with a captivating spark in his eyes and a large, empty glass jar tucked under his arm, instantly capturing the children's attention. With a playful air of mystery, it was evident this day would be anything but ordinary. He set the jar on the table in front of the class and then pulled out a stack of large stones, each roughly the size of a fist, from beneath the table. Methodically, he began placing these stones into the jar, one after another, until there was no more room left. He then turned to the students and asked, "Is this jar full?" Observing that no additional stones could fit, the students nodded and answered, "Yes." To their astonishment, the professor then revealed a bag of pebbles and started to pour them into the jar, giving it a slight shake. The smaller pebbles found their way into the gaps between the stones. Once more, he queried the class, "Is this jar full now?" Some students began to grasp his point and hesitated, but many confidently replied, "Yes, now it's full." Next, the professor brought out a bag of sand and began pouring it into the jar. The tiny grains settled into all the remaining spaces among the stones and pebbles. For the third time, he asked, "Is the jar full now?" Recognizing the pattern, the students replied, "Probably not." Finally, the professor produced a jug of water and poured it into the jar, soaking the sand. Only at that moment did he confirm that the jar was truly full. He looked at his students and explained, "I want you to understand that this jar represents your life. The stones signify the essential things, your family, health, and friends, elements that, even if everything else is lost, would still keep your life full. The pebbles represent other significant matters, like your job, your home, and your car. The sand stands for the small stuff, the trivial matters." He continued, "If you prioritize the sand or pebbles in the jar first, you won't have space for the stones. The same principle applies to life. If you invest all your time and energy in the minor details, the everyday tasks, you'll never make room for the things that are truly important. The stones embody those critical aspects of your true happiness and essence. They reflect spending quality time with loved ones, taking care of your health, and pursuing your dreams. If these aren't your priorities, you may realize too late that you've neglected the most important parts of your life." He concluded emphatically, "Ensure you place the stones in first. They are your foundation, your core pillars, your family, health, and dreams. Don't allow the pebbles or sand, the secondary tasks and trivialities, to overshadow them. At the end of your journey, it's the stones that will hold the most weight in your life's jar, determining its value and meaning. Let your life be driven by what enriches your spirit, fulfills your soul, and truly matters. The rest is merely pebbles and sand." As the professor finished his address, a curious student raised her hand and inquired, "But, Professor, what about the water? Where does that fit into our lives?" The professor smiled at her perceptive question and replied, "Ah, the water. It represents the idea that no matter how full your life appears, there's always room for a cup of coffee or tea with a friend. Regardless of how busy you are, there's always space for those small moments of joy, relaxation, and connection with others. In life, we often find ourselves juggling priorities, attempting to fit everything into the limited hours of the day. We get so caught up in the hustle and bustle, in the small tasks, that we sometimes forget what truly matters. This jar, representing our lives, isn't infinite. It has only so much capacity. If we choose to fill it first with sand and pebbles, the mundane and the peripheral, we leave no space for the stones, which hold real value and meaning. So I encourage you to focus on your stones first, your family, your health, your passions, and your dreams. These are the components of your life that, when everything else is stripped away, will still leave you fulfilled and content. Take care of these precious stones first. Make time for those you cherish. Prioritize your physical and mental well-being. Pursue your passions with courage. And amidst all that, never forget to create room for learning, growth, and kindness. And the water? That's the unexpected, the spontaneous. It's the coffee shared with a friend, the laughter that comes out of nowhere, the joyful moments we share. Even when life feels overwhelmingly full, there's always space for these connections. The pebbles and the sand, they'll fit around the essential elements. They represent the necessary tasks and responsibilities that should not dominate your time or energy. They must not crowd out the space reserved for your stones. Ultimately, remember that it's not about leading a busy life overflowing to the brim, but about living a fulfilling life filled with experiences that truly matter to you. It's about more than just counting the days. It's about making the days count. It's about balancing the stones, pebbles, sand, and water in a way that enriches your life and brings genuine joy. This is Visionary Drive. Thank you for watching. Until next time, remember to prioritize your stones and cherish every moment.